All right, guys, we're going to be finishing up the rest of our worksheets within our packet. So we'd already done the elevation one and the map legend one. So now we're going to do the launch coordinates, latitude as a climate indicator in the United States time zones. Now, a few of these, after copying them years after years after years, they're a little rough looking. So that's why I especially just wanted to do them with you, or at least show you how it's done. So in case you needed clarification there. Now, we're using latitude and longitude in this first one to pinpoint areas on the map. Okay, so we're finding coordinates. So it says Casey is looking for the perfect place to launch his rocket ship. He has found 4 possible locations. Use the coordinates below to locate the 4 states that Casey can launch from. All right, so we're going to use 2 types of numbers. So if you can see over, I think on both sides, yeah. On both sides, these lines that are going across, those are lines of latitude, and they're measured north and south, right? Here's this one, and then it may be 0, right, which is the equator, and then 5 degrees north of that, and 10 degrees north of that, and then same with the south. That's going to be the first number we look for, and then the lines going straight up and down, that's longitude, and we're going to measure them from east to west, right, left to right. So like prime meridian would be 0, and then it'd be like 5 degrees east, if it's flipped. If I'm looking at it straight on, this would be west. So 5 degrees west, 10 degrees west, 5 degrees east, 10 degrees east from that central point. Okay, so our first one says 30 degrees north. Now, we can see that we have 25 and we have 35, so it's going to be somewhere halfway between here. So it could be in any of these southern states. And then 97 degrees west. All right, so if we look at the bottom, we have 90 and we have 100. And so it's going to be partway between 90 and 100. We're just going to match up where our fingers meet. And that is going to be, it's kind of hard to mark it here, and you don't need to. What it said, where is this location? So I don't know if you can see the dot here. It's kind of dark. So again, we went about 30 degrees north. It's right around there. And then 90, 100, so there's 97 right there. And that's where we put our dot. And so that is in Texas. Right? It looks like it's kind of near Austin, maybe. Okay, number 2, this location is at 41 degrees north. So again, we're looking at these. We got 25, 35, 45. So it's kind of halfway in between. So it'll be anywhere in this region. And then they said 78 degrees west. All right, so 78. So we have 70 and then 80. So it's it's hard to do this while looking at it through the camera. Up this way, right? Up 78. I'm even going to mark that right there. So 78. What do we say? 41. So I kind of mark those on here. And we can just go up 78 over 41. That looks like it is in Pennsylvania. Now, Pennsylvania is hard to see, but we see the big PA. When we do our states and capitals, you will learn that that is the abbreviation for Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania. Okay. Next, we have 39 degrees north. All right, so just below where we had been. So I'm marking these up real quick. 39 degrees north and 120 west. All right, so that's on the west coast. That is in California. Okay, let me match up 41 and 78. Okay, last one, 46 degrees north, so just above the 45. And I've got these labeled on here too. And 108, so that's between 100 and 110. That's right about there. So if we line those up, that is in Montana. Okay, on to our next one. So again, there that is, but I will be scanning that in so you can see it more clearly, hopefully. I know it's been scanned so many times. All right, next one, we will need a red colored pencil or crayon. We'll need a blue one, and we'll need a yellow one. Okay, so it says color the area. So it says study the map, then follow the directions below. color the area between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn red. This area is known as the tropics, so it's a tropical climate zone. So if you look on your map, it's tiny to read. At least this one's a clearer map. But I'm going to highlight Tropic of Capricorn, Tropic of Cancer. Okay, that's that region there. Okay, and we color it in red. I'm just going to do it lightly so we're not sitting here forever just watching me color in a sheet. Okay, next it says color the areas north of the Arctic Circle and south of the Antarctic Circle blue. So let me highlight those first. Arctic Circle, Antarctic Circle. So those are where those are. And then above it, above the Arctic one, right near the North Pole. And below the Antarctic one, so near the South Pole. That's what that should look like. Okay, and that is the Arctic climate zone. Then find the areas between the tropics and the Arctic climates. So pretty much the two places we haven't colored in yet. These are yellow, and they are the temperate, right? So it's not too hot, not too cold. It's like the baby bear region from like Goldilocks. This one's pretty quick and easy. There we go. So again, the red is the tropical, the blue are the Arctic, and the yellow are the temperate. Right? That's how you can remember that. All right, last one, time zones. Now, I don't know how many of you have traveled, but have you ever had to change your clock if you go into another state? Like if we drove or flew west out to, I don't know, Wyoming, we would have to set our clock back 1 hour, right? And that's determined by how the Earth is rotating, right? They're 1 hour behind us. And if we went out to California, we'd have to turn it back 2 hours, right? And if we went out to Hawaii, we would have to turn it back, I think, 5 hours. Yeah. And so same, and if we went to Alaska, we'd have to turn it back. It's not as far west. Hawaii, it's a misconception. Hawaii is way out west. Alaska, you would have to turn it back 3 hours from where we live. Anyways, let's go ahead and look at this. It says, number one, or it says, use the times listed near the colored areas. It's not colored, but I've labeled them. I'll show you what we're talking about. To help you answer the questions below. So if it was 6:32 p.m. in Kansas. Now, if we find Kansas, I'm going to kind of highlight it with my blue pen. So there's Kansas. It is in the central time zone, which is where we're located. What time is it in the following states? So Washington. If here is Kansas, Washington is up here. So it'd be 2 time zones back. So we'd go 6 o'clock back 1 hour, 5 o'clock back 1 more hour. It would be 4:32 p.m. If we went to Colorado, now they border each other, but it's 1 time zone back. So we have to go back 1 hour, 5:32 p.m. Hawaii, that is quite a ways away. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours back. So it would be 1:32 p.m. The way you know that is we're in the central time zone, and it gives you an example. It says if it's 5 o'clock there, it's 12 o'clock in Hawaii. So that would go back from 5 p.m. to noon. That's a 5-hour difference. And Florida. Now, Florida is in the Eastern time zone, and so that is 1 hour ahead of them. So that would be 7:32 p.m. Mrs. Dietz and I, whenever we call our families back in Michigan, we have to be mindful that they are an hour ahead of us. So if we called them at like 9 o'clock at night, it would be 10 o'clock at night for them, and some of them might be asleep. So we ought to be mindful of that. But same, if they try to call us at 6 in the morning at their time, it'd be 5 in the morning our time, and if it's not a weekday, we would not be up. Okay. Number 2, if it is 3:06 p.m. in Alaska, what time is it in the following states? All right, so the example they give us is Alaska says it's 2 p.m., and then Pacific is 3 p.m., so Pacific is 1 hour ahead. Mountain time, 4 o'clock, that's 2 hours ahead. And then Central time, that's 3 hours ahead. And Eastern time, that's 4 hours ahead. So if we were in California, that's in the Pacific time zone, that's 1 ahead. So if it was 3:06, it would be 4:06 p.m. If we were in Illinois, that's in the central time zone. So that's 1, 2, 3 ahead. So that would be 6:06 p.m. If we were in Montana, that's in Mountain Time. That's 2 hours ahead. So that would be 5:06 p.m. And then Rhode Island, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 ahead. So it would be 7:06 p.m. If it is 2 p.m. in Ohio, now Ohio is in the Central Time Zone. It's in the Eastern Time Zone. It's right on near the border there. What time is it in the following states? So Maryland is also in the Eastern Time Zone, so it would still be the same time. Again, I wish we had a clearer map here, but they've been copied so many darn times that I'm gonna have to find my original copy here because this is looking rough. Nevada is in Mountain Time, so we would want to go back 2 hours. So it would be 12 p.m. or 12 noon. New Mexico is in that same region, so it would also be 12 p.m. And then Arkansas is in the Central Time Zones. We'd go back 1 p.m. Okay, so there we go. Again, I'm going to scan this in as well to show us the answers. And those how those work. Now, we're not going to be tested on what this, any of these types of things. You just need to understand what is a coordinate. What are the climate zones? What is a time zone? Stuff like that, okay? So it's not like we're going to get to a quiz or a test and you're going to have to fill out another sheet like this. This is just us practicing and seeing in action what those terms look like. So there we go.